Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the United Stand. It is the 2 p.m. show, and as you can see, it's 1 in, 1 out. I'm hoping we're getting more out than just one, if I'm being honest with you. But Fred is looking like the closest to leaving Manchester United at the moment, with Galatasaray looking on the cards. I'm hoping they're going to pay a bit more than what they initially bidded for Fred, but we'll have to wait and see. Some really good Amrabat quotes coming out from his time with Ten Hag. Obviously, Ten Hag has managed him before. Also, some news on Pellistri. I was one of the people championing Pellistri to stay. It looks like he's going to go out on loan. That looks pretty nailed on now. We'll get into that. Also, Sean Dyche. Mark is actually in the chat. I wish he could do his Sean Dyche impression right now. He's on Mod Watch. Sean Dyche interested in Harry Maguire as he looks to offload 2 centre-backs and potentially fit in Harry Maguire on his 200 grand a week wage. I mean, we can hope and pray, can't we? I don't think Maguire wants to go, but if Sean Dyche wants him, let's get that deal done. But let's get into the afternoon show. Thank you, everyone, for being here. Here we go in the chat. Mark's in, Modbridge. Hit a like on the video if you're excited. And yeah, behave yourself because, you know, he's ruthless with it. He's ruthless with it. But let's get into the show and let's start talking about Fred, first of all. So it's coming out that talks are progressing positively with Manchester United and Galatasaray for the sale of Fred. This is something that we know. If I'm being honest with you, I want Fred to go, but the thought of him going to Galatasaray, it doesn't make me that excited because Galatasaray at the moment are the ones that are offering the least amount of money. There's been interest from Saudi, there's been interest from Fulham, there's been interest from other clubs. Morano's been saying this for quite a while now, and it is basically certain. I think it's 90% now that Fred is going to leave. He wasn't part of the US tour. He's not part of Erik Ten Hag's plans. And for Amrabat to come in, Fred literally has to go. And we know Ten Hag wants Amrabat. So Fred is going to leave. But Galatasaray, the last time I heard, they were offering around £8 million, which, again, isn't enough for Fred. For Fred, personally, for me, I know he's only got like a year left on his deal and he's 30 years old, but he's still like a £15 million player at least. I mean, Fabinho's going to Saudi Arabia for 40 million, for God's sake. I mean, come on now. We've got to get some sort of money for Fred, but he wants to go to Galatasaray. A bit of respect for him for wanting to go there and obviously play in the Champions League with Zaha rather than, you know, go to Saudi just purely for the amount of money he's going to get. But for us as fans, Saudi would be the best option because that's probably going to be the best bid. But the players got to agree on a move. So it'll be interesting to see how that develops. And I just hope that it happens quickly because I want to get Amrabat in. And the sooner we sell a player, the quicker we are to get an Amrabat in. I saw it before, I think it was in the Manchester Evening News. I was looking at an article that Manchester United need to, in outgoings, sell £24 million worth of outgoings in order to try and get Amrabat in. Fred would be a massive help in that. Say if we got 15 million, then we sold Donny van der Beek for a few million, you know, that money starts to add up. But in the chat, what do you guys think? We've got a chat in. Oh, it's going so quickly. Everyone's really excited. Let me have a look here. Fabinho, probably £10 with change to spare. Well, it's one of them things with Fred is how much is he worth? How much is he worth to the likes of Galatasaray? Because I don't think Galatasaray are going to offer more than 10 million for Fred. So if that is the case, you would expect to get more. But something's better than nothing. Pellistri exit, says Levi. It's not quite an exit. It's a loan move. But I think he should be staying. And I think there's a lot of people that think he should be staying. Some people are arguing he's, you know, better than potentially even Anthony on the wing at the moment with the performances he's putting in pre-season. I don't think that. But Pellistri going on loan, for me, it's frustrating because I really do think he has the talent to play minutes for Manchester United. Where is Pellistri going to? We'll get into that in a second. Actually, let's move into that now because people want to know. And it's coming in from 20 Insider that both FC 20, obviously in the Dutch League, and Boca Juniors want to sign Facundo Pellistri on loan, with him being advised by Erik Ten Hag to join the Dutch side as they currently don't have any wingers. But it's up to Pellistri ultimately where he goes this season on his loan. I was looking at Pellistri. He's 21 years old. It is that make or break time for him. With Pellistri, it's now or never. You know, if he gets to like 23, 24, you're not going to break into this Man United side. We've seen it with Chong. We've seen it with other players in the past. It's just not going to happen. I just would like to know why Erik Ten Hag doesn't want to give him any more minutes. Because for me, every time Pellistri comes onto the pitch, he influences the play in a positive way. He offers something our wingers can't offer us. He gets to the byline. He likes to put a cross in. He actually feeds the striker. He looks after the ball really well. He's got a low center of gravity and he can travel with the ball. He can dribble. He can cut inside. I just think he's got loads of attributes that we're missing in the wingers department. And every time he comes onto the pitch, I think to myself, really, what more can he do for the minutes that he's getting? I mean, last season, the small cameos he got, I think he got an assist. He's creating chances. And then in pre-season, again, for me, he's not looking any more off the pace than the likes of Sancho and the likes of Anthony, like the wingers that we've already got. He doesn't look few and far between them. If anything, Pellistri's probably performed quite better than Anthony in pre-season. And I'm not saying he should start ahead of Anthony because I don't think that. I really, really do like Anthony. But he should surely at least be getting a chance. But then you look at how stacked we are in the wingers department, and it feels like we're stacked, but not with the highest quality. We've got Anthony, Rashford, Sancho, Garnacho, Ahmad if he decides to stay, and if Erik ten Hag wants him to stay. There you've got 5. Where does Pellistri come into things? It's one of them. And you would rather him playing games than just sitting on the bench like he was last season. But I think he's good enough to go and play games for Man United, especially considering the fact that we're in the Carabao Cup, we're in the FA Cup, we're in the Champions League, we're in all these competitions that Erik ten Hag wants to take seriously. So him going on loan it's annoying because I really do like him and I don't think he's getting the chances he deserves. But I trust Erik ten Hag with this, and hopefully he goes to 20, if he does go to 20, and he lights it up and he has a good season, he can come back into the fold. But where does that leave Ahmad? Does Ahmad stay? Does Ahmad get game time? Does he go on a Premier League loan? And again, like I was just about to say, with Pellistri, he's good enough to go on loan in the Premier League. He's good enough to be in the Premier League on loan. He's good enough to go to the likes of an Everton or even a Brentford, honestly. I think he's good enough to play for that sort of team as a winger. So that's where I would have liked to see him, to be honest with you. I think he's better than going to 20, if I'm being honest with you, and that's no disrespect to them. But it would have been nice to at least watch him in the Premier League if he was going on loan. A lot of people getting excited about Rasmus Højlund. Hit a like on the video if you're excited about Højlund. People asking me, have I seen him yet in Manchester? After this show, it's time to, get myself down to Carrington and be on watch out for Højlund. I think I saw something on Twitter before, but, I don't really trust anything that it's not coming from an actual source. That apparently his flight was due to land at 3:00 or something like that. So 3:00, he could be touching down in Manchester. And it's weird to me that obviously we're right next to Old Trafford here, that he'll only be like 20 minutes away, not even that. And he'll be doing his medical and hopefully be announced soon. But I'm excited to see him. Will he start at the weekend? I think he will play in one of them games, maybe off the bench. I'm not sure. But I'm excited. I'm excited to see it. Tom Best with a super chat in saying, I think it's great the players that we are getting, but as long as the Glazers are here, it feels like the anchor is still down. Tom, couldn't agree with you anymore. But what I'm not going to do is get myself down about it every single day. I know how I feel about it. I don't want the Glazers here. I'm sure all of you guys don't want the Glazers here. And yes, our transfer window for me has been quite decent. It could have been way better if the Glazers had sold the club, but they've not. So we've got to get on with it. And I'm going to get behind Erik ten Hag and get behind the players because I am excited for this season. See, Enjoy Writing says, how are you today, Beth? I'm good because it's Højlund Day. Højlund's doing his medical. Højlund is going to be signing his papers in Manchester and hopefully he'll be holding up the shirt. Get in the comments down below because we did this with Onana and I got it wrong. What shirt do you think Højlund will be wearing? What number do you think he'll get? Because I said last time, I thought Onana was going to go for number 1. I said, I know he wore 24 for his career, but I thought he would take the number 1 at United. He went for the 24. It was announced like 20 minutes after I ended my show, it just made me look stupid, if I'm being honest with you. But I've been made to look stupid a few times on here. Like, remember when I said we're going to win the league under Ollie? We all remember that. So get in the comments down below. Just got to laugh it off and go with it. What number will Højlund get? Because maybe he'd get 17 if Fred had left, but Fred isn't left yet. We're not going to take the 9 off Martial again. That just won't happen. What number will he end up getting? Let me know your predictions in the chat. Also, has anyone seen that video of Pep Guardiola saying that Rashford can't keep hold of the ball and comparing him to the Inter strikers that are really good at looking after the ball? Very, very interesting coming from Pep Guardiola. Let's see what you guys are saying in the chat. 17, 17, 17, 27. 27 just gives me flashbacks to Weghorst. I don't want to put that curse on him. No disrespect to Weghorst, but number 27, it's not a lucky number at Man United. Tellez wore it and Tellez was didn't turn out to what we expect. Then it's gone to Weghorst and he couldn't hit a barn door. Honestly, he could not hit a barn door. Goldbridge in the TalkSport match would have done a better job than Weghorst. So I don't really want to burden him with that number. If he gets it, I get behind him. Obviously, 2 + 7 is 9. Maybe we'll see. 17 does look like a likely option, if I'm going to be honest with you. Lamin Bojang says, cut in and sky it over the bar. Who am I? And you're talking about Anthony on that one. I already know you're talking about Anthony. Thing is, when them shots pay off, they're brilliant. But we can't be doing them every single time we have an attack because it's such a waste at times. So I get what you mean. I would like to see Anthony cross it more and feed the striker, but we haven't had a striker to feed. I feel like when we have Højlund in, you will see Anthony getting more crosses in. It's like when, you know, he had Heller at Ajax. Anthony was very good at feeding Heller with crosses at Ajax, like bending them towards the back post with his left foot. So I'm hoping we see that come into play when Højlund comes in. Mark in the chat saying, I'd give Højlund the number 7. Mount should have never got it. Lol. Putting number 7 on Højlund would just, oh God, the media would have a bloody field day, wouldn't they? Give Mount a chance. Mount's going to be a great number 7. I've got a feeling about it. Pre-season doesn't matter. Give Rasmus the number 5 and sell Maguire. Well, we might be selling Maguire because looks like Sean Dyche is on the lookout for Harry Maguire to be his new centre-back. Can you believe it? But from what we've heard, Harry Maguire doesn't want to go. He didn't want to go to West Ham because he wanted to go to a bigger club than West Ham. So, you know, I don't know if he'd want to go to Everton. And Everton is a big club, obviously, but they're not doing very well at the moment. They've been in the relegation battle the last couple of seasons. So whether Maguire would actually want to go there, especially with his relegation record, Sean Dyche should be looking into it. But yeah, apparently Sean Dyche is looking at getting Harry Maguire in. I've got some quotes on it here. So Everton are planning to join the chase for Manchester United defender Harry Maguire. We understand Toffee's boss is ready to offload some of the players to make room in the squad and raise funds for a potential move for Maguire, with Michael Keane and Mason Holgate among those he's ready to move on. Can you believe it? Dyche and Maguire, it's a match made in heaven. Let's be honest, it is a match made in heaven. Tarkowski and Maguire at the back. It screams Sean Dyche, doesn't it? And do you know what? I actually think it'd work for him. Again, I think it'd be an excellent signing for Everton. I think he'd work perfectly in Sean Dyche's system. I mean, him and Tarkowski, it's just going to be headers galore, isn't it? I mean, it's like you might as well bounce the balls into the box, just completely just, you know, goes in there, bounces off. It'd be crazy. But I do think that'd be a great signing for Everton. Do I see Everton going splashing 30, 35, 40 million on Harry Maguire? I don't. Just because I just don't see him doing that. And Man United won at least 40 million, apparently. So I think it'd be a good move, but Maguire wants to fight for his place and Man United want 40 million, which I don't think we'll get. But apparently Sean Dyche is willing to offload them to make room for his wages. So his wages, that might have been an issue in the past, you know, that could kind of move things around. You never know. Maybe Onana scared Maguire off, you know, because he shouted at him that much the other day and he was so aggressive towards him that maybe he scared him off that he wants to join another club. Can you believe that we're still talking about that story? It's absolutely crazy. We'll have to wait and see. Did you know that United were second bottom in the Prem last season for crosses in the box? Ridiculous. That is ridiculous. We need to get our heads up and cross the ball into the box more. Caleb Baker says swap Maguire for Onana. And swap Maguire for Onana. What? Are we talking... Right, okay. Are we talking about... 1 second. Let me just... I thought you were talking about Onana from Everton, the midfielder. I was literally there like, swap Maguire for our goalkeeper. What are you on about? But Onana is actually a player that Ten Hag was interested in last season, but they put a price tag on his head of about 50 million. So I don't think that would happen. I think we are going to go all in for Amrabat. And talking about Amrabat, we actually do have some quotes coming in from Amrabat regarding Erik Ten Hag and him working under Erik Ten Hag. And we start off, I just want to read a few of these quotes out. This is coming from The Athletic because it is really interesting. And I think it just shows how good of a manager Erik ten Hag is and what his plans are with Manchester United moving forward. So Amrabat says, with working with Erik ten Hag, it was my second year in the first team. He made a plan for me. He asked me about my strong points and what I wanted to improve. From the first day, he was busy with me, not only me, but with all the players. A lot of coaches are busy in general with the team, but he put a lot of time into individual work because he knew if the individual was better, the team would be better. Again, you can see this with the likes of Sancho. The work he's been doing with Sancho in pre-season has not gone unnoticed. I thought Sancho actually looked really decent in the game against Dortmund. I kind of had to watch it back because I did fall asleep through it, but he looked like he's improved a lot. And no, I don't think he can play as a false nine, but I think tactically Erik ten Hag has been playing him there because what was Sancho's weak points? He wasn't strong enough in maybe holding up the ball. He got pushed off the ball a lot, and his pressing wasn't great. Playing as a false nine, you have to press relentlessly, and he has been pressing a lot better, and he's been holding the ball up a lot better as well. So I think a lot of people think Ten Hag has wrote Sancho off. I don't think that at all, and I think there's definitely still a future there for Sancho. You've seen the way he's worked with Rashford. Ten Hag is known for being a training ground coach and working with the players, and you just absolutely love it, don't you? You absolutely love it. Yeah. Let me have a look. All the comments are just swamped with Goldbridge podcast news. So I can't see any about the actual show, but you know what? The podcast is coming and it's going to be very, very exciting. Keep yourself calm, but it's going to be great. Pep would turn Pellistri into a brilliant player. Sorry, Pep would turn Pellistri into David Silva. Don't disrespect David Silva. David Silva is probably one of the best midfielders that the Premier League has ever seen. Pellistri's good, but come on now. That is a little bit much. Enjoy Writing says every United player should be good in the air. I don't think every United player has to be good in the air. I think you should have ones that are good in the air, but to say everyone has to be good in the air is a little bit of a stretch. Some people have, different strengths. Is Pellistri leaving on loan or being sold? If you take a little look a little bit back in the show, it looks like he's going to go on loan to FC20 or Boca Juniors. Again, just not. I would like to see a Premier League loan. I can't lie on that. But that's where we're at. Maguire to Everton. What are the chances? Get in the comments down below what you think. I think very slim, but I think it'd work so much. I'd love to see it because we need to get the money out. And let's be honest, Maguire isn't going to be playing for Erik ten Hag. Let's get to Bedo in. Let's get the money in and move on with our future plans. But it's coming in actually that Cadiz and Aston Villa are both interested in Kovar, which is the Man United goalkeeper that had played a little bit in pre-season and then didn't end up going out to the US tour. Looks really, really, really good at times. As it stands, a championship loan seems the most likely option. But with that, Villa wanted to buy Kovar on a permanent deal, whereas it looks like Man United want to loan him into the championship, which again would be a good experience for him. He obviously won the league with Sparta Prague. He had a really good season. With Kovar, as much as I really like him, he's not going to ever be the first team keeper, is he? Let's be honest, because we've got Onana now. And Onana's going to be in for the long haul. So what is the point of, if you want to get some money in for Kovar, as much as I do like the player, we might as well sell him, in my opinion, because I think he's going to be too good to be a second choice. And then as the first choice keeper, he's just never going to get there. So we'll have to wait and see. And then a little bit more on Amrabat. He says, after every game, he would take me through a video and explain everything to me. I was 18 or 19 years old, so sometimes I was thinking, again, but now when I look back, I know it was so important for my career and I learned a lot. Amrabat is obviously a big fan of Erik ten Hag. And to be honest with you, everyone who speaks about Erik ten Hag, all the players speak glowingly of him as a coach. So who was the first person to say Erik ten Hag on the United stand? Not to be that person, but I think it was me. I'm pretty sure it was me. And, it might go wrong. I don't want to jinx him, but I really, really do like this manager. And I'm so glad he's getting backed and he's being more confident in the press conferences now. He's saying, you have to spend money to compete at the highest level. He's fighting for his targets. I mean, we've actually got 3 signings in before the start of August, realistically. I mean, it's August now and Højlund hasn't been announced, but he's obviously putting pressure on the board and we are moving a little bit quicker. And I honestly do think that is thanks to Erik ten Hag as well. I'm not saying we're doing brilliantly in the transfer window because the exits have been poor, but with getting players in, I think we've done a good job, and the targets that we're getting are all Erik ten Hag's targets, which is really exciting. But yeah, let's see what happens in the future. But what we do know is we need to get Fred out of Man United as quick as possible if we want Amrabat in. And I think it's so important that we get Amrabat in. I saw in the MEN before as well. I can't remember who it was, but it was an ex-player saying that Amrabat doesn't strike them as a good signing for Manchester United because, you know, he just doesn't seem like one of them names that would be a Manchester United player. And I just think to myself, have you watched Amrabat? Do you know about Amrabat? I mean, it's crazy to me that, you know, some people that are speaking in the media don't know how good this player will be for Man United. It literally solves our issue that when Casemiro has got a red card or injured, that we physically don't have a CDM. He was brilliant for Morocco in the World Cup. And for me, in the Conference League final, he was the best player on the pitch. He was better than Declan Rice in that final. I'm not saying he's better than him, but yeah, he's so good. So I'm so excited for that. Last super chat in from Enjoy Writing. With Onana now, we should play long high ball. I think we will do that. And I do think with as far as, you know, Rashford getting in behind on the back of Onana's passes, it could be brilliant. But if you'd seen Pep Guardiola saying he can't hold up the ball, so it might not work. So we'll have to see what happens with that. But look, everyone, thank you for watching the show. Where we're at the moment is Fred needs to leave. Get Maguire out of here. Henderson, all the players that we can get money for, let's get it in. Let's get Amrabat. And for me personally, I would like to get Tabido as well as a centre-back, but that might be asking a little bit too much under this ownership at the moment. But yeah, let's hope we get some updates soon and get excited because, you know, within the next half an hour, Højlund will be in Manchester. And I just got put off because I've just seen Mark's chat saying, you've never heard of Onana before the Champions League final. Is that directed at me, Mark? Is that directed at me? Because yes, I was a lover of David Raya and Diogo Costa. I hold my hands up and I still think they are two brilliant keepers. But I didn't think with his doping and what happened at Ajax, Onana was on the cards, but I'm so happy we've got him. And I've already said, sign of the season for Manchester United this summer. I put it there. He's going to transform us. But thank you, everyone. Thank you for watching. Mark, as he says in the chat there, will be back at 8 p.m. with all the latest transfer news. Hopefully some updates on Højlund's medical. Maybe we'll get the Højlund announcement, but I think that will be tomorrow. But thanks, everyone, for watching. Make sure you hit a like on the video, and we'll see you on the next one.